Hey, this is Malkazar returning with another installment to the Final Fantasy XIV story playthrough. Last we got through patch 5.3, took down Elidibus, and saved Grahatia, as well as brought everybody back to source here. So there's Alpha and Alze right there, and everyone else is around. We're going to go ahead and begin patch 5.4. Try to get as far into that tonight as we can. Then we will continue again tomorrow per usual. So let's go ahead and begin Alize's quest. Oh, greetings, Malkazar. Time to look in on our friends. Rest assured everyone is quite well. I've been keeping a close eye on them, and have satisfied myself that they are all in fine health. As a matter of fact, we're just about to convene in Dawn's Respite to discuss how best to use their pent-up energy. Let's join them, shall we?
Well, my friends, now that we have all settled back into our bodies, it is time we resumed our duties in earnest. Let us speak of our plans.
His voice sounds different.
Ever since the Emperor's death, it's been one unsettling rumor after another. I have a mind to pay a visit to Garlemald to ascertain the truth of the matter.
A prudent endeavor. 'Tis of the essence that we establish the full extent of the threat, not least if it should prove that Xenos doth indeed orchestrate events from the shadows. In light of which possibility, I shall accompany thee on thy mission. Be assured that thou shalt find me more a help than a hindrance. Thou requirest another to imbue thine ammunition, dost thou not?
Oh, he still can't do it himself.
Assuming that's settled, there's something I've been meaning to look into as well.
And what is that, Alze? Hello, Lise.
Welcome back, everyone.
Lise!
You're fine now, right? No more headaches or keeling over?
That's right. We're fighting fit and raring to go.
The famous Lise Hext, former scion and hero of the Alamegan resistance.
I don't believe we've met.
Really? It's so easy to assume that all Archons are acquainted. But then I suppose your fields of expertise are rather different.
And he's new.
Grahatia, at your service. I have read much and more about your exploits, Commander. It is a pleasure to finally make your acquaintance.
Likewise, the others told me all about you.
Did they?
Do not be so sure. Words scarcely do justice to the vital role he played in our victory in the first. A more dependable comrade one would be hard-pressed to find.
His voice is back to normal now. Maybe it's just a weird line. He's blushing.
I did glance at the report, but I'd be lying if I said I understood half of it.
Everybody take 10 years to explain it to her.
Well, that's a lot to take in. Just to be clear, this means we're not heading for another calamity, does it?
Shorn of their unsundered master's leadership, what Ascians remain shall struggle to see their plans to fruition. And though I would ever advise caution, I believe we may rest easy for a time.
I'll take that as a yes. Even so, I don't know what to make of this business about Hydaelyn and Zodiac being primals.
A difficult truth to bear, yes. But at last we understand the nature of our adversary. And if there are no further calamities, neither will there be rejoinings, meaning Zodiac will never regain his full strength. Even so, as the oldest and mightiest of primals, he remains a force to be feared. Though his is a power born of the desire for salvation, we have seen the havoc it may wreak. And it falls to us to ensure that it is never again brought to bear upon this star.
But tell us, Lys, to what do we owe the pleasure of your visit?
What do you mean? Isn't seeing my long-lost comrades reason enough? Alright, there was one other matter. I have a message from the Alliance, and before you ask, yes, it's about the Empire. So, after Emperor Varys' assassination, it seems his cousin Nerva made a bid for the throne. The trouble is, he wasn't the only one with designs on it, and it didn't take long for a civil war to break out. And it's not just in the provinces. Early reports say huge swathes of the Imperial capital have been reduced to rubble.
Oh dang, the actual city.
The Alliance will soon convene in Alamigo to decide on a course of action, and we were hoping you'd come along.
Might as well.
Well, as it happens, Urianger and I were just this moment planning a little trip to Garlemald. And we should be grateful for any advice the Alliance can provide on how best to make the most of our visit.
To Alamigo, then.
Why don't you go on without me? There's something I need to look into.
Ah, forgive me. You were just telling us. What is it, if I may ask?
I want to find a way to cure the tempered.
Of course. You think it may be possible to adapt the treatment you use to help those corrupted by the Sin Eaters?
I'm sorry, a cure for tempering? But that would change everything. Alice, consider yourself uninvited. Go and find us this cure.
I'll do my best. I was hoping you might join me. Don't worry if not, though. I won't hold it against you if you'd rather attend a stuffy meeting.
Heck no. What meeting? Lead on.
I knew you'd say yes.
I'll come too. If you don't mind, that is.
Your expertise would actually be very handy here.
Mind? I'm sure they would be glad of your company. Pray, enjoy your time together with your hero.
No. That's not... I mean, I simply thought my knowledge might be of some use.
You're so nervous now all of a sudden.
We shall be on our way then. Godspeed.
Alright, where to? Oh, talk to her first. Right into a non-voice acted piece here. When I set out to save Halric, I think Gabu was always at the back of my mind, and having proved that the light corrupted are not lost, I'm convinced that the same must be true of the tempered. Similar to those corrupted by the Sin Eaters, the ether of Gabu's soul has been rendered stagnant. And though the root cause is different, perhaps the solution is the same. It is by no means a unreasonable hypothesis, Alize, and it warrants full investigation. If there's even a chance we can save Gabu, we have to try. But however much I'd like to race over to Limsa and set to work, there is no room for recklessness. Not when a child's life is at stake. As I'm sure Becklug will remind us, we still know little and less about the soul. Any number of things could go wrong if we don't exercise due caution. And so before attempting anything, we should learn all we possibly can about tempering. There's just one problem. Research into the condition has long since ground to a halt, and the combined work of the many scholars involved doesn't exactly amount to a wealth of knowledge. None of the modern scholars, perhaps, but what are their ancient counterparts? I know the Allagans took a more than passing interest in the subject. And what if we seek is to be found anywhere? It would surely be at the Etherochemical Research Facility, where they experimented on the primals and their worshippers. Yes, good thinking. I've never actually been there myself, but I did read their reports on Azazla, which means we'll be needing an airship. An airship, you say? Meet me at the northern bank of Silvertear Lake. I've got a little surprise for you. Oh, and come prepared to travel. Sounds ominous. Got a surprise for you. Didn't miss these loading times. Come on. I don't remember it ever being this bad. I know I've complained about it before, but seems like with the more recent expansions, it's gotten worse. An airship? I give you the Bonanza, the Scion's very own airship. I built her as a company project with help from our friends at the Rising Stones and named her for luck and prosperity. Jotaro, this is amazing. You'll be able to fly just about anywhere we want. Our garments were impressive enough, but to build an entire airship, I see the annals did not exaggerate the many talents of the Scion's fabled coinkeeper. I'd also introduced myself as your pilot, except the training didn't go quite as well as I'd hoped. But that's alright, because we've hired this capable fellow here instead. And who are you? Someone with the ironworks. The Bonanza is equipped with a full complement of mana cutters, by the way. Feel free to use them to get around Azazla. But enough talk, it's time to fly. All aboard? We got here quick. Honestly, Sid would be jealous of the way the airship flies. Taro has outdone herself. Anyway, here we are on Azazla, and Alphino's report did not do the scale of this place justice. This appears to be Helix, which means we stand in the Alpha Quadrant. To the east lies Beta Quadrant, and Yes, I believe I have my bearings. Though this is my first time on Azazlaw, I do have some familiarity with the place thanks to the records and the Crystal Tower. Unless I am mistaken, this path leads to an Aetheryte, beyond which there will be an information terminal. I suggest we could begin our search there. Isn't Geralt over here too? I don't see him, it's fine. And here is the terminal. A moment while I search the archives for references of tempering. Ah, there we are. Iconic corruption and overview. That sounds promising. Indeed. Let us see what this report has to say. Confound it. The contents appear to have been deleted. What? No, isn't there something you can do? Not from here, I'm afraid. But it may be that another copy of the report exists elsewhere. The question is where to look. It says here the report was written by someone named Owen. Is it likely that he kept a copy? I would say it is a distinct possibility. Assuming he was a researcher here, he will have had quarters in the Hemisphere. We can ascertain the details at Hemisphere Control. I was about to say Central. Let us return to the Bonanza and avail ourselves of the Mana Cutters. We'll need them to reach our destination. I forgot, you already have a suitable means of transport, don't you? No need to waste time accompanying us back to the ship then. We'll see you at the Hemisphere. All the way over there. Alright, fine. Keep an eye out for sightseeing points. Been quite a while since we've been back here too. Is that the Hemisphere? That's the Hemisphere. This is the Hemisphere Control. Oh, that's all the Mana Cutters. If the late Owen did indeed have a chamber here, this node will be able to tell us of its number. I'm surprised I didn't think of this before. Maybe the Allegans knew something about this. They didn't even think about it until we started fixing people back on the first. There. From what I recall the layout, it should be somewhere in the vicinity of... Warning. An evacuation order is presently in effect. Entry to the Hemisphere is not permitted at this time. Foiled again. In all likelihood, the order would have been imposed during the 4th Umbral Calamity, and I doubt it will be lifted in the near future. Energy level critical. Returning to base for recharging. Well, surely there must be some other way to gain access. Force, for example. Ere we resort to that, I have an idea. Were we to send a surge of energy through yonder control mechanism, it should prompt the system to restart, releasing the locks. As for a suitable energy source, a concentrated lightning shard might suffice. Happily, I seem to recall that they are known to form at points of stagnant aether throughout the continent. You seem to recall? Are you honestly telling me that that was in the records too? Aha, I am. A report sent to the capital mentioned that the lightning aspect at ether was prone to pooling on the continent, resulting in surges that interfered with equipment. A minor detail I grant you, but in my role as caretaker of the Crystal Tower, there is no such thing as too much Allagan knowledge. Besides, my studies help me to feel connected to the source, to home. I must have explored the facility 1,000 times in my mind, and to finally stand here with the two of you, it is more exhilarating than I can well express. Now then, the lightning shard. If I may, I suggest we split up and search the beta quadrant. Oh, but be aware of sprites. They are wont to manifest where the ether is stagnant. Now you're just showing off, which makes me think we should make a contest of this. The first to return here with a shard wins. What do you say? Very well. It would be my honor to come third. He automatically assumes he's going to lose. Well, he's also not used to racing us. Bravo. That was quite a show adventure. Why, the spectacle proved so enthralling that all thoughts of the prize slipped my mind. I appear to have forfeited our little race. Congratulations, the lightning shard is yours. Who are you? Show yourself at once. Forgive me, my friend. The scene so reminded me of our first meeting, I couldn't resist. Well, the contest continues, so you'd better hurry back. But one last thing. Thank you, Malgazer, for bringing me here. No fates for me today. It's funny that the Empire's ship is still there. It appears Alize had no luck, so victory is yours. Congratulations. Now then, may I have the shard? What is it that makes you so much better at finding things? What do you have that I don't? That is a question I too have asked myself on numerous occasions. I suspect that we could both learn a great deal from Algazer, not only about the secrets of adventuring, but come, we should attend to our mission. Excellent. The system responded exactly as intended. We now have access to the Habisphere. Only one obstacle remains. The security systems within. Should they be triggered, It can make life rather difficult for us. In light of which, pray leave the rest to me. If I am right, my royal blood should allow me to venture in unmolested. Assuming this place works like the Crystal Tower, yes, but if it doesn't, you'll be on your own. I want you to promise us that you'll get out at the first sign of trouble. I promise. Wish me luck. Well, nothing for it but sit tight. I'm sure this Owen fellow was very learned, but iconic corruption overview sounds like a studium thesis. We all had to write one. Lest you wonder, mine is about the combat applications of ether. I'm nothing if not practical. Alphanos is more philosophical, of course, political, dare I say it. He chose to write a lengthy discourse on our nation's duty to the world. A controversial subject, to say the least. He asserted that Charlene's knowledge should rightly be used to protect all life on the star, in direct opposition to the country's cherished policy of non-intervention. Being a leading member of the Forum, our father was not happy. At the time, of course, Alphino was utterly convinced of his views and would cheerfully argue to the death with anyone who saw things differently. By which I mean the rows were long. To be fair to him, though, he has since learned to be a little more open-minded, but deep down he still holds fast to the one belief, and I admire him for it. I should have liked to meet the young Alphino. For what it's worth, my thesis concerned the elegant civilization as depicted in folklore. Oh, you're back. I didn't know you attended the studium. I didn't. A thesis was required to earn my Archon's mark. My peers at the Students of Baldesian convinced me to write one with the promise of unfettered access to forbidden tomes. Although I considered it no more than a means to an end at the time, I will admit it was gratifying to have my efforts acknowledged. Good gods, an Archon's thesis. I shudder to imagine the work involved. But enough about that. Is this the fruit of your foray? Yes, Owen's archive node. It was waiting for me in his chamber. If a copy of his report still survives, it will be stored in this device. Shall we find out? Oh, excuse me. Initializing, scanning for registered user. User not found. To proceed as guest, please complete biometric authentication. Verifying. Authentication complete. Guest identified as member of the royal family. I am at your most humble service, Your Highness. It never ceases to amuse me. 'Tis but a pity the effect will not last forever. Doga and Une said as much when they granted me this gift. But until such time as it fades, I shall use it gratefully. Search archive for iconic corruption. Searching. One item found. Iconic corruption and overview. The report is locked by the author. Please state password. Well, go on then, Your Highness. Tell the nice node the password. Right. Let's see. Glory be to Alag. Long live Emperor Zande. Password incorrect. Please try again. Excuse me. Confound it. Come now, passwords are invariably short and simple. For instance, not very anime. Password. The notion that password could be something so inane would be laughable were it not dangerously stupid. Furthermore, your conduct in the presence of His Highness is grossly inappropriate. Know your place, handmaiden. What did that thing just call me? I don't know. We'll do Courage, because Wild Rose is the one from the Scions of Seventh Dawn. Password incorrect. Again, be warned that any further inappropriate behavior in the presence of His Highness will not be tolerated. Alright, that's it. I say we dismantle it and manually extract what we need. Now, let's not be too hasty. A single misstep and we would risk losing the report altogether. I believe this may be a task for Sid and his colleagues. If anyone can coax Machina into cooperating, it is them. Come, let us bear the node back to the Rising Stones. Money. Bum, 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 bum. I should probably mention that I have yet to meet Sid since waking up. Rambros did send word to the Ironworks, but it appears our friend has been afield on urgent business. Nevertheless, I assure you my proposal to seek his help is no pretext, however much I might look forward to seeing him again. Him and everyone. But come, let us be on our way. Look at him, all but running. How sweet. Still, it wouldn't do to keep him waiting, shall we? Bye, Azisla. See you in a long time. Maybe never again. We'll see. Probably go through their fate hunting. Maybe if I get into actual hunts, there may be something there. Wonderful news, Malkazar. Totaro contacted Sid on our behalf, and he is on his way here even as we speak. While we wait, I should like very much to hear what transpired at the Alliance Council. Would you be so kind, Cryle? As you know, the meeting was convened to discuss how best to respond to recent events in Garlemald. According to intelligence from our Doman allies, the War of Succession rages on, and the Empire remains without a leader. Amidst the chaos, the Imperial legions in the provinces have begun to move independently of the motherland. Of greatest concern to us is the Third, a legion aligned with Lord Nerva. It appears they have recently received substantial financial backing from House Brutus. Brutus, aren't they the ones who took in Yatsuyu and Asahi? This bodes well. Xenos' movements, meanwhile, remain shrouded in mystery. We're hoping that Thancred and Urianger will be able to shed some light on his activities when they return. Until such time as they do, the Allied leaders feel it would be unwise to interfere in the conflict. And so, thanks in part to the Imperial withdrawal from the Gimlet, they've decided to turn their attention to the primal problem once more. Working with friendly factions among the Beast tribes, they hope to reopen dialogue and explore new avenues for peace. Given the timing, I suspect they wish to put their respective houses in order ahead of a decisive clash with the Empire. Whatever their intent, this is not a problem easily solved. The Lemenzens in particular struggle in their efforts, and Alpha and Stola have been called upon to aid them. As long as we are dealing with the Tempered, I'm afraid no amount of dialogue will avail us. But if we can develop a treatment for tempering, then anything is possible. Which is why we must succeed. And on that cheery note, why not make yourselves comfortable in Dawn's respite? I'll show Sid in as soon as he arrives. Waiting. Sid. Forgive us for not coming in to see you sooner, my friend. As you may have heard, we've had our hands full. In our defense, you are up rather early. I was under the impression you'd be slumbering a while longer. Well, I would have been, had you not fulfilled your promise. I struggle with that idea. From where I stand, the secrets of traversing time and space seem exactly as unfathomable as they ever did. But if an alternate version of myself has already laid them bare, I dare say that frees me up to concentrate on other endeavors. Speaking of which, you wanted my help with something. What is it? Well, a treatment for tempering, and for the next step, you need to find the password to this Allagan's report. Just so, with nary clue to guide us, we could be here forever and still not guess correctly, unless we turn to you. Well, I'd love to say that we could help you, so I will. Once suitably configured, a Magitech terminal should make short work of identifying the password. I knew I could rely on you. Now, anticipating that it might be of use, I took the liberty of borrowing a tombstone from Rambrose. It contains an Allagan dictionary. Good thinking. I'll transfer the information to a terminal and set it to work right away. Egg timer. Looks like it's finished. Let's see. Freedom. The password is freedom. Short and simple, just as I said. Would you care to do the honors, Your Highness? I would, milady. Node, open the report entitled Iconic Corruption and Overview. Password, freedom. Password accepted. Opening report. This report seeks to provide an overview of the mechanism by which icons corrupt and bind men to their will. The phenomenon we call corruption refers to the alteration of the ether of the soul. Said ether ordinarily exists in equilibrium, no one element being more prominent than the other. But when a subject is exposed to the ether of an icon, this changes, their soul taking on the properties of the entity in question. By way of an example, exposure to the ether of the fiend Sephiroth would cause a subject's ether to become aligned with the element of earth. As a consequence, the subject would attain heightened affinity with earth-aspected magics, as well as preternatural levels of endurance. Repeated exposure would further enhance these traits, ultimately altering the subject's very flesh. The changes undergone by the subject are not solely attributable to elemental alignment, however. Further testing has determined that the subject's soul becomes unbelievably charged or stagnant during the process. This stagnation of the soul has the effect of diluting the sense of self, rendering the subject vulnerable to the will of the icon, the thoughts of whom come to consume their entire essence. In this manner, do the corrupt become worshippers of the icon, their prayers serving to further empower the entity. Having discerned the mechanism for iconic corruption, my colleagues and I set out to develop a material capable of shielding one from its effects, an endeavor in which we were successful, albeit at great cost. In the course of testing, many of my assistants, good men and women all, fell victim to corruption, and in accordance with protocol, they were summarily put to death. I subsequently submitted a proposal to investigate potential cures for corruption, but it was rejected, deemed not essential by Lord Aemon. Though I knew it would be fruitless, I protested the decision, and for my impertinence, I have been stripped of rank and title, and will shortly be expelled from this facility. In all likelihood, this report will be expunged from the archives. Nonetheless, I record it in the hope that one day, someone will undertake to do that which I could not, and find a cure for victims of iconic corruption. End recording. So not even the Allagans were able to find a cure, or rather were not given the chance to do so. One cannot help but wonder what motivated Lord Aemon's decision. More importantly, this confirms that stagnation of the soul is indeed the problem, and Angelo can remedy that. True, yet were we simply to reanimate a tempered soul, I fear would do naught to diminish the individual's fanatical faith. Indeed, it may well intensify it. No, we would somehow need to suppress the primal's hold over the subject at the same time, or risk them ever remaining its thrall. If only we could make them remember who they were. But of course, memory transference. A process has the effect of compartmentalizing memories, separating them into manageable bundles, if you will. By adapting that technique, it may be possible to achieve selective reanimation, that is, limit the effects to only those memories that existed prior to tempering. Through thus restoring the sense of self, we could theoretically drown out the incitements of false faith which had come to dominate the individual's thoughts. I see the theory seems sound, and our experience treating the light corrupted would help us to identify suitable memories for reanimation. But are you confident you can adapt memory transference as required? I seem to recall your attempts to do so while trying to bring us home culminated in literal bloodletting. They did, you are right. Despite my best efforts, I could not recreate the mechanism, and I concede that the rather clumsy compromise I reached would not provide the basis for a cure. And perhaps it's better that we consider another approach. Your doubts are understandable, but this time I believe we have the reason to be confident. You see, nodes such as this were built with the ability to simulate magics, which leads me to believe that it may be capable of performing simulations of the transference technique. If so, we'd be able to conduct a year's worth of tests within the space of a few days. In theory, it would be no different from how we identify the password. But it'll take more calculating power, a lot more. I honestly couldn't say whether our equipment would be up to the task. Tell me, Sid, why do you suppose Owen locked his report behind a password? To keep it from prying eyes, of course. Why else? Wait. A password that could be guessed by anyone with leisure, and a dictionary wouldn't keep it from a person minded to look. No, he wanted his report to be seen by those who strive for freedom. Not unlike the members of a certain distinguished engineering collective. I believe their motto was freedom through technology, or some such. You two, round up as many Magitech terminals as we can find and bring them to the workshop. Right away, Chief. Excuse me. Things are about to get very busy. Lucky we have you to help, eh? Right, while Grahati and I configure the terminals, I want the rest of you to procure supplies. Namely, ceruleum to fuel the terminals and ice shards to keep them cool. The more we have of both, the better. Leave the ice shards to me. I'll run up some adventurers and go on a gathering spree. In that case, I'll trust Malkazar and Alizé with the ceruleum. Here's a promissory note for each of you. Take them to the Skysteel Manufactory in Ishgard and the ceruleum processing plant at Thanalan. The people there will give you what you need. Yours is a well-known face in the Holy See, I believe. If it's all the same to you, I'll head to Thanalan. I'm going back to all these old places here. I don't mind. I like Ishgard. Wait. More things than I remember. Lots of things to do when we're done. I'll probably save them for after I level up a bunch more classes. The next ones I want to get through all the other tank ones. That way I only have one set of gear to worry about. I have so many old tanking pieces on me. You stand in the Skysteel Manufactory. What is it you require? So you're after ceruleum. In that case, please present the note to our engineer at the airship landing. He shall be glad to assist you. Ceruleum, you've come to the right man. Fair warning though, the price has shot up on account of uncertainty with the Empire, so I hope you've got the coin. Well now, a promissory note from the Ironworks. Don't see many of these. Not that it's a problem, it's as good as gold to me. Wonk, wonk, wonk. Hey, the Vanu Vanu. And Emmerich and Lucia.
My friend! After the disappointment of not seeing you in Alamigo, what good fortune to chance upon you here of all places. As you may have heard, the allied nations are making a renewed effort to address the primal problem. To that end, have I invited the chieftain of the Vanu to Ishgard, that we might together plot a course.
Hello.
Since the war with the Empire appears to be nearing its conclusion, I would also like to call upon Estinian's lance. Alas, he is, as ever, a difficult man to find. I am informed he recently paid a visit to the Rising Stones. Should he happen to do so again, be sure to pass on my regards, won't you? But tell me, what business brings you to our fair city this day? A cure for tempering. You never cease to amaze me. Until now, our only hope has been prevention, our every failure irrevocable. But this would rewrite the rules of engagement. It could end the cycle of bloodshed.
He's never been this excited about anything. Very strange.
Very well. You shall have all the ceruleum we can provide, and an airship with which to transport it. In this matter, you may count on Ishgard's full support.
Isn't this stuff volatile? Dang. With all those crystals, hopefully we don't summon a primal. What's wrong with Alze? You sleep? Oh. Just slouching.
Who would have thought ceruleum weighed so much? Serves me right for being stubborn, I suppose. I should have just done what you did and accepted help.
Yep. Dummy.
Good work, you two. This is all we asked for and more. Quite a lot more now that I look at it. Lord Emmerich, eh? And entirely by chance. Ha! Some people have all the luck.
We have also succeeded in configuring the terminals, thanks in no small part to our able assistant.
Nero.
It's been a while, hero. You seem surprised to see me. Lest you misunderstand, I've no interest in such things as cures for tempering. But if you mean to achieve that which eluded even the storied Allagans, it seemed plain that you would require my expertise. And so it proved. Is that not right, Garland?
Ask Jesse. She was the one who hired you. All I know is you're an employee of the Ironworks now, so you'll bloody well earn your keep.
That wasn't the only reason I agreed to cooperate. I'm reliably informed that Garland and I are destined to unravel the secrets of travel not only across dimensions, but through time. Doubtless the lion's share of the credit lies with me. 9 parts to Garland's 1. And this research will be a stepping stone to that illustrious achievement.
Very well then. I'll do 1/10 of the work. Just the part that's beyond you.
Whatever you say, Garland.
Right. If everyone's ready, let's begin.
I think his voice actor changed too.
All appears to be in order. Now, we just have to wait for it to find us our magic. Why not take this opportunity to put your feet up? This may take a while. It's overloading.
She won't last much longer!
Shut it down.
We'll have to shut it down.
Wait! We're close. So very close.
Oh.
Well, this is going swimming.
Please, a moment longer. I beg you. There. I was able to memorize the magic before it faded. It still needs to be put to the proof, but I believe we have our cure.
Nero's just like, whatever.
It's just as well. She'll never run again.
The fault is mine. I'm sorry.
Don't be. It may fall short of dimension hopping, but a cure for tempering is not to be sniffed at. This, my friend, is a world-changing discovery. One we're proud to have had a hand in. A few Magitech terminals are a pittance to pay.
Thank you.
Start writing that down, Graha, before you forget it.
Well, we've done what we can. The rest is up to you.
Complete. There we go. At long last we have our cure. In theory, at any rate, we cannot be certain until such time as we put it to the proof, but I am quietly confident. Well, if we're to test it on someone, then I suggest Gabu. His symptoms are relatively mild. As long as you exercise due caution. I don't know about testing on a kid. Yes, as long as we exercise due caution, it will be fine. Without further ado then, let's make for Limsa. We've kept Gabu waiting long enough. Bow, wow. Come on. That was weird. The first name was Prime Fire. Pumpkins. All Saints Wake. That's what it is. Well, this is the moment of truth. I'll have our host bring Gabu to us at once.
Apologies for the wait.
Gabu, have you been good?
Still no change, I'm afraid. He just stands there in silence until we move him.
It's all right now. We're going to help you get better.
What if it makes it worse?
Fancy meeting you here.
Alphino Yushtola! I thought you were attending to primal matters.
We were, and came here for a meeting on the subject. Certain pirate factions did not deign to attend, however, and it was cancelled.
We had resigned ourselves to having wasted a journey when we chanced to espy you. Could it be that there has been progress with the treatment?
Explain, explain. Explain, explain, explain.
Using Magitech terminals to formulate the solution. I would never have contemplated such an approach.
So this new magic, adapted from memory transference, would be used to purge the subject of their fanatical faith, while Angelo would be responsible for reanimating the ether of their soul. Yet I wonder at the practicalities. If one were to reanimate the soul first, it would only serve to exacerbate the tempering. Conversely, a stagnant soul would not respond to the effects of the magic. Would both need to be performed simultaneously?
Nothing escapes Master Matoya's inquiring eye. As you say, both must be carried out simultaneously. And thus, I propose to imbue Angelo with the tempering treatment in much the same manner as I did the spirit vessels.
Why didn't you do it on the ride over?
By doing so, we also spare Graha the trouble of casting spell after spell. It's really rather efficient.
And you're going to make the pig a beast that we have to destroy.
As it may, certain difficulties are unavoidable. The imbuing process will still require no small amount of ether. And as I can no longer draw upon the Crystal Tower's stores of energy, I will be compelled to rely on those of others.
Well, I, for one, would be glad to assist.
As would I. Since the resumption of our duties, it has been naught but stuffy meetings, and I have ample ether to spare.
Like, everyone's super intense.
Excellent. With your permission, then, let us begin.
Like Alpha Note, Emmerich, they're all super excited. Can I help too?
Yes, this will do. And now, it's my turn.
Cool.
Tis done.
No small amount indeed.
Well, we seek to go where even the Allegans did not. It was never like to be easy. The rest is up to you, Alize. The treatment itself will take time and focus, so we will need a quiet room. I'm sure our hosts can spare one. I will go with her. It may be a while before we return, so I would ask for your patience and your faith.
We'll bring Gabu back. You see if we don't.
'Twould seem our part is played. Let us find a place to recuperate while we wait for news.
Recuperate? I didn't do anything. What do I need to recuperate? Come on. Well, this seems as good a spot as any to have a rest. Next to all the spooky skeletons. Pumpkins. Maybe there was a bat pumpkin there. I don't think I've ever seen that. It's pretty cool.
For years, Eorzea has labored to find a solution to the primal problem, without success. Any hope that tempering could be reversed faded long ago. I myself had given it up as impossible. Given up on the tempered and the light-corrupted alike. They were problems to be tolerated, or else eliminated, I believed. And to think otherwise was pure naivety. Childishness, even. But Alize refused to give up. She struggled and she struggled. And her efforts were rewarded with a way to bring back Halric. And now countless others may no longer be beyond salvation. However much we bicker, I have the greatest respect for my sister. Had I half her stubbornness, nay, her unwillingness to accept the status quo, I would be a far better person. A far better scion.
Well, if it's any consolation, she's in awe of your work.
She told you of my graduation thesis. How very embarrassing. Nonetheless, it is comforting and not a little surprising to hear that I'm still capable of impressing my sister. On the rare occasions I'm not annoying her, that is.
Oh. What happened?
Alize, are you all right?
The treatment. Did it work?
I'm so glad to see you all. Delighted, happy, glad.
Gaboo!
All this time, my mind was filled with thoughts of Great Father Titan. But I never forgot about Mother and Father. Always, they were in my heart. Constantly, ever, always. So I tried to focus on their faces. Theirs and yours. Alize's and everyone's. And I found that I could remember. One thing, then another, and another.
Your hopes reached Gaboo. They helped him to hold on.
I'll throw a nod out. Very sage.
I'm so proud of you, Gaboo.
I couldn't have done it without you, Alize. Can you help the others too? Cure them, heal them, help them?
Yes, we can. All of them.
That's a lot of work.
Without wishing to dampen the mood, I feel compelled to add certain caveats regarding the viability of the treatment for general use. As you know, reversing the effects of tempering demands a profuse amount of ether. And while Alize was able to heal Gaboo alone, I fear the same will not be true for those who exhibit more advanced symptoms. Moreover, the treatment's effects are limited to the soul. It offers no succor to those whose very flesh has been altered through prolonged exposure to a primal's influence. All of which is to say that we cannot save everyone.
Maybe we can't, or maybe we can. No one gave us a hope of saving Gabu, and yet here we are. We must find a way to treat as many as possible.
Then the next logical step would be to produce a veritable army of Porkses, would it not? Granted, it seemed a simple enough process in the first, but I suspect it will be different here in the source. Not that I am any authority, of course.
Yet there is an authority on familiars to whom we may grudgingly turn. She's stubborn, haughty, eccentric, irascible, laconic, annoying. And her name is Master Matoya, the real one.
I have to go now, Gabu. But the people here will look after you, all right? And I promise to come and visit you again soon.
All right. Thank you, Alize. Thank you.
Aw, we saved him. Yay. Save everybody. And she will be at pains to remind me I have not paid Master Matoya a visit since returning from the first. But this seems as good a time as any. Come, let us make for her cave. Oh, I wanted to be invisible mount. I still haven't done Alexander yet as well. So much stuff, not part of the main story. This was going slow, but I guess not. That does happen sometimes. You mount up and you start flying before you're fully mounted. And you'll be like, I'm gonna fly, but at walking speed. Let's see what she has to say to us. I take it you are ready to bear witness to the joyous reunion of master and pupil? Very well. I just hope it's voice acted. I like hearing the sarcasm in your stillest voice, it's great. This music.
Nary a word from you all this time, then you bring every man and his pirogo with you. Did no one teach you any manners, girl?
They were too busy teaching me etherology, Master. Jesting aside, I wanted to be the one to express our gratitude. I'm told you spared no effort to sustain our bodies while we were away. And for that, we owe you our lives. Thank you.
You were gone so long. I was starting to think you'd set your heart on staying.
It wasn't easy to leave, as it happens. Seldom does one have the opportunity to study other worlds, and I would not have minded extending my stay by a handful of years.
Ever the scholar. Y'shtola dedicated herself to studying ancient civilizations of the First, befriending a tribe known as the Knights Blessed in the process. There she took on the name of Matoya and won the respect of all the children of the forest.
She may not like that.
I merely adopted an alias in accordance with the custom of my hosts. Yours just happened to be the first name that came to mind.
You mean to tell me you went gallivanting about using my name and only bother to visit when you need a favor? And don't pretend you don't. I taught you long enough.
You shouldn't have said anything.
Indeed. And devoted pupil that I am, I could not fail to recall my master's sage advice. When the answer eludes you, look to the wisdom of your elders.
You there. Were you going to introduce yourself?
How remiss of me. Grahatia is my name, and I'm proud to call myself a scion. I too wish to offer my gratitude for your invaluable aid in sustaining the Archon's bodies, as well as my apologies. It was my inexpert summoning spell which endangered their lives in the first place.
Ah, yes. The one bent on digging up the mysteries of Alag. Old Galaf used to speak of you, and Kryles told me all about your recent exploits.
Galif. Another Final Fantasy V reference.
At ease, boy. Whatever mess you've made, I'm not in the habit of dwelling on the failings of the younger generation.
You are too kind. I've also heard much and more about you, Master Matoya. 'Tis an honor to finally make your acquaintance.
Well, that's more than enough pleasantries for anyone. Tell me what you want. I haven't got all day.
Explain, explain. Explain, explain, explain.
So that's the way of it. It should be a simple enough matter to make the familiar. The magic, on the other hand.
Ah, that you may leave to me. Being the only one possessed of royal blood, I alone can imbue the subject with the necessary magic.
So I just need to create porxes with the power to stir the soul. Just, I say. Though we're talking about a veritable herd of the little buggers, we'd collapse before we reached double figures. But if I could get a familiar to create the familiars, a mother porxie, as it were. Seems I haven't seen the last of that moldy old hole after all.
What moldy old hole? Alright, off to my old workshop then. Everything required to make your familiar is there. That may be, but no one has set foot in there since the Exodus. I dread to imagine what had become of it. Oh, there's sure to be a handful of feral familiars, and mayhap a monster or two, but nothing to trouble the likes of you. You can consider cleaning up the place payment for my help. Fine, we'll do it. Good girl. Now, there are no other objections. I suggest you run along to the Maker's Quarter. I'll send one of my piragos ahead to let you into the workshop. You need to only tell them who you are. One can't be too careful after all. Off you go. Go on now, shoo. You insist? Didn't she send us in like 3 dungeons, including this one? The Answer Tower is one of them. The other one's the Great Gabu Library. Yep. Oh, way over there. Dang. Would you look at that? Oh, I was checking for a sightseeing. No luck. Pearl the Unwashed. Ha. Greetings, Ribbit, and welcome to my good mistress's relict. Pearl is my name, and I'm honored to be your guide. Within you will find a space dedicated to the making of familiars, along with a cavern wherein the requisite ingredients may be had. I must warn you, however, that the place has not played host to a single soul, much less a broom, in over 15 years, and will, I regret, to be in some disarray. But rest assured, my brothers and I shall see to it you do not lose your way. Now then, Ribbit, only say the word, and I will show you in. Alright, let's do this. Oh. Pretty limited now. You know what?
I stand ever ready.
Hopefully we don't have a repeat of the last dungeon where I have to fight the last boss 3 times.
Right. To begin with, I need you to gather a few ingredients. Listen well to what the Porogos say, or you'll wish you had.
I didn't know you were coming with us. Huh. This jaunty version of Matoya's music. First things first, we need to harvest some clay. Never thought I'd see this place again. We'll be counting on your local knowledge. The clay can be found at the Clay Clot Cauldron Ribbit. Through this portal, if you would. What creatures have since taken a residence, I wonder? Please follow me, Ribbit, and put down any pests that bar the way. Cave mantis and cave tarantula hawk. Allow me to assist you with the gap ribbit. Come on, guys, do something. You guys are ranged. Why are you running away and just standing there until the AoE, the attack is gone? I did not imagine the place would be so infested, Ribbit. Son of Ziggy. The clay is just across the way, but you'll need to deal with the Mudman first for a bit. Mudman? That's supposed to be a golem? This is what happens when you neglect to tidy up. Okay. Interesting. Hard rock. I assume that's going to be... I'll drop both of these. Peat pelt. Okay, so you needed to direct them into the drains. Gotcha. Easy enough. Oh, it looks like we can't have it be drained into the one with one of the dudes. They might throw it right back at us or something. There's a dude over in that one. Confiteor! Chink. It can't be this one. It can't be this one, though. Oh, he's almost dead. Oh, never mind. Now we have our clay ribbit. Let us return to the interstice. If I didn't know better, I would say you were having fun. Next, we need to get the water flowing again. Back here again and on to the next task. It will be my pleasure to show you to the Clear Note Cauldron, Ribbit. Please use this portal. Any treasure chest behind us? Nope. That gushing sound. There must be a water vein. For your own safety, I ask that you keep close to me, Ribbit. Correct, and believe me when I say it's icy cold. Watch your step. Ah, wrong button. Cave Gelatin. Please wait while I move the lift ribbit. Oh, gotta get the treasure chest. Oh, that sounded painful. You alright? A little spring yonder ought to put a spring to your step, Ribbit. Oh, thank you. Another lift ribbit. Just a moment. I sense a mischievous presence, Ribbit. Please take care. Nixie. That familiar was made of stormwater, and it plays rough. Have care. When even Y'shtola advises caution. Where are you looking, Alphina? Tee. Play, let's play. Water, water, become spears. Thing of flesh and bone to pierce. Water, water, slow to drift, wash away and set adrift. Oh, didn't. Okay. Ow. Ah, so much fun. More water. We need more water. What are you guys standing here singing in the rain? Oh, you're just avoiding the things. Oh, your Stolla's up there. Oh, did someone get summoned up there, or what? No, all my water is gone, but I can't lose. I won't. Ow. How much damage? We took almost 10 million damage. Thanks for the warning on that one. Okay, so after she takes down, or whoever takes down the guys up top, we need to be where? We need to keep an eye out for like a certain spot. Safety. Cast your carbuncle. There we go. All right, let's do this. I see it now. So they come out of those three. Alright, so how do I get up there? Oh, we're all up here. Alright, cool. Okay, so it's like we all needed to be on the cloud. Yeah, we can't avoid that. Whee! Oops. Wrong order. That's fine. He's done anyway. Alright, alright, I give up. You win. Odd to have closure after all these years. Wait, was it you who created that familiar? Water's flowing again, Rivet. Let us head back. Last but not least, we need to fire up the kiln. As Matoya will be getting impatient, assuming she hasn't fallen asleep. Step right through, Rivet, and I will guide you safely to the kiln fire cauldron. Well, dang. Well, that's pretty. A lot of colors in here. That's cool. Good heavens, is the magma rainbow colored? Spectacular. Off we go, Ribbit. Please try not to fall behind. If the product of dissolved crystals, lest you wonder. Interesting. Daph's just flying around, making some cool stuff over there. What the ribbit? A little meta can't stop us, Ribbit. Well, the earth underneath it would still be hot. Ribbit, it's that big brute again. I lost it. Was hitting with some atonement, but timer's up.
Allow me.
Honestly, smite this fiend once and for all, Ribbit. And done. What a fiery battle that was, and I don't mean the magma. Your destination awaits. And now the kiln should be lit. That takes care of the kiln, Ribbit. Aye, let us return to Master Matoya. Any other chests around? I didn't see anything else. Alright, it's time to bake ourselves a porksy. Of course, the last boss isn't just a fire boss.
Right then. Let's get this over with. Newborns are wont to be difficult. Sure, who's in charge?
Oh, I get to fight the porksy. Fight a giant pig. Okay. Bum, 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 bum. A pugnacious specimen, just like its creator. Don't show it any fear. They can smell it. Will be gone workshop. All right. Do this. All right. Let's see how well you handle the big girl. Tenderloin. Is that going to be a tank buster? Nope. That hits everybody. Okay. Dang it. Barbecue. We'll get sucked in. Oh, I can't sprint. Oh, that was close. That's probably the tank buster. Yep. You send yourself, find her quickly, or you'll be in for a world of pain. It's the same spell, but way up there. Yeah, if we didn't see where she was going with it, then yeah, we would have been in a world of pain because we didn't know which way to go. Clever. I can't stop her from using that. Sorry, guys. I can't protect you either.
Allow me.
Oh, she's almost finished. And there she is. Bum, 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 bum. I got a card. I've got a card in a long time. Anybody else say anything? Nope. I got some Gaskins of aiming though. Totally useful.
There we are. Quite tame.
I said beat it up first.
Then all that remains is for me to imbue her with the magic. My friends, I'm afraid I must trouble you for your ether once more.
We just used a whole lot of it to fight. Dun, 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 dun.
That should suffice.
Good. Let's set her to work then, shall we? I want to see some corpses. Assuming that is, someone can spare the requisite energy.
Did I see on the background on the wall some 8-bit?
Devotion for the great sorceress Matoya, I dare say.
Final Fantasy 1 characters? Yeah, it's the black belt. What's he doing there?
Excellent. Our very own litter of Angelos. And we can make as many more as we want, simply by providing the mother Porksy with additional ether.
I will...
A thief?
A moment before I try again.
It's still hard work, but a damn sight more efficient than making them one by one. Thank you, Master Matoya. Everyone, we're a step closer to our goal.
Distributed amongst the allied nations, they should do much to facilitate closer dialogue with the beast tribes. And given their present travails, I believe our friends in Limsa Laminsa should be the first beneficiaries.
Agreed. Though I must leave this errand to you. I doubt my legs will carry me out of the cave, much less to Vilbrand. Thank you for taking the lead in gathering the ingredients. I expect you would benefit from a rest too.
I know I would. It's kind of late.
In addition to the Porksies, I trust you've gained an inkling of how much effort goes into the creation of familiars. Or mayhap you attribute your struggles to old age.
Dang.
If I said yes, would it persuade you to treat me like an adult?
Not with that pertness, it wouldn't. Anyway, assuming you have no other favors to ask, I shall be leaving.
They couldn't have picked any other familiar. They had to pick more Porksies. Lest you wonder, Master Matoya has returned to her cave with Y'shtola. They're as peas in a pod, are they not? Well then, my friends, let us return to Limsa Laminsa and deliver the good news to the Admiral. A word to the officer in Bulwark Hall would be sufficient to secure us an audience. Don't even think about it. You would get wrecked. Actually, this. Come on. Load, darn you. Present received guests. Blah. Okay. Nothing important. It is usually why I skip their dialogue. Aha. My friends, what brings you here this day? Explain, explain. Explain, explain. Is this true? By the Navigator, a cure for tempering. As often as I've been in awe of you scions, I would not have thought it possible. And yet it is, Admiral. We've done it here in Limsa, and production of more familiars has already begun. You have my thanks. Truly, this will do much to advance the cause of peace. Yet I fear it will take more to close the rift twixt man and beast man. Bah, even to speak thus divides us. Welcome as it is, a cure will not guarantee reconciliation between our peoples. Where the summoning and the tempered may serve to fuel the conflict, they are but symptoms of it. And if we are to resolve the primal problem once and for all, we must address the cause. We must strive for mutual understanding and find a way to leave our bloody past behind. 'Twas I who moved that the Alliance renew its push for peace. Since our ancestors came to these shores some 7 centuries past, we Laminsas have been at odds with those who share our island home. Save for a brief moment of cooperation with the kobolds, our history has been one of nigh constant territorial squabbling. Meanwhile, our struggle with the Sahagin for control over the seas has only grown fiercer, a matter made much worse by the thrice-damned calamity driving them to seek new spawning grounds. With survival at stake, each had no choice but to fight, and so I dismissed peace as impossible. Impossible is a word coined by the weak, I proclaimed to all who'd listen, and then gave up. You and yours put me to shame. Since you led us to victory against the Black Wolf, you have achieved the impossible again and again and again. And I thought it high time that I followed suit, hence my proposal to the Alliance Council. But no sooner did I reach out to our neighbors in Vilbrand than my own people sought to thwart me. You speak of the pirates who failed to attend the meeting. Aye, acting through a friendly faction among the kobolds, we had intended to seek an audience with a prominent patriarch. But the bloody executioners would not hear of it, and their absence sent a message to the rest. Though they are but one of the 3 pirate powers, they are the greatest, and any attempt at peace would founder without them. I am given to understand that the leader, Captain Hilfer, has been bedridden for some time with an ailment of the lungs. Correct. In his absence, his right hand leads, a man named Sickard, but recently risen to prominence among their ranks. Save for his disdain for authority, little is known about him. We have invited him to speak with us once more, but he will not come. I have tasked the Yellow Jackets and the Rogues with uncovering his motives, but they have learned naught of any value. Leave it to us. We have a nose for the truth. Whatever the Sickard wants, we'll find out. Truly, I would be much obliged. I shall look forward to hearing what you learn then. Good luck. By way of a first step, I suggest we split up and make inquiries around town. Someone must know the Sickard. If you could approach the pirates, Malkazar, the rest of us will seek out merchants and adventurers. Okay. Well, where are they? Oh, both of them are upstairs. Walk right through. How the heck? Look at the map, it looks like there's a way to go straight through there, but there isn't. I'll have to go around this way. Oh, I thought it ended. Curious about Sickard, are you? As am I, my friend, as am I. Sadly, I know nothing of the man, save that the bloody executioners experienced a marked improvement in their fortunes after his promotion. Quite how he achieved this is a matter of some debate. As you know, the thalassocracy permits us to attack only Garlean vessels, yet those have all but vanished from the seas since the Empire turned in upon itself. In order to adapt, we Krakens have taken to trading with the East, but the executioners are less forward-thinking. I cannot imagine they would willingly abandon the old ways. So how, then, are they lining their coffers? Whatever their secret, they are not to share it with their rivals. Mayhap you'll have more luck. Run, run, run. Chad Bradley. Luna Lovecraft. Construction noises. Stupid. All these flying bat pumpkins. Eh? You want to know about Sickard? He's a wily bugger is what he is. Found some clever way to make coin, they say, and traded it for Monskate's place at Old Hilford's side. There was a time we raced the executioners for our pick of the Empire's fleet, but the Garleans are gone, and them days with them. Owing to which, we've all of us had to look for other ways to make ends meet. With that jumped up bilge rat Sickard landing the juiciest, whatever it may be. Not that we sirens are struggling, mind. We do well enough guard fishing boats from the fishbacks and other beasties. Get the first pick of the produce for our trouble sea, quality stuff at a bargain price. This we pass to our sisters, as can't sail on account of getting old or wounded with child. And they cook up and sell for pretty profit. Simple. Oh, I miss the old ways, don't get me wrong, but when I see the girls with their little ones, I think to myself, a life of peace and quiet ain't all bad. Where are you, Alphino? Oh, let's do this. Spend 100 gil. Why not? Mighty Mogbert. I see everyone has returned. Now, who would like to go first? So, just as their imperial prey began to disappear, Sickard turned the executioner's fortunes around with a mysterious new source of income. Whatever it is, it's nothing to scoff at. According to a tavern keeper I spoke to, the crew had been indulging themselves as never before. But no amounts of drink seems to loosen their tongues as to how they are coming about their coin. For my part, I spoke with a reporter from the Harbor Herald. The publication has been investigating the secret to the executioner's good fortune and making little headway. Plainly, the executioners do not wish the nature of their business to be made public. And I think I may know why. In the course of making inquiries in Hawker's Alley, an interesting fact came to light. Just as the executioners began to enjoy better fortunes, the price of crystal went into sharp decline. A sudden fall in demand, I was told. Curious, I contacted Hoary Boulder, who has been watching the movements of the beast tribes. My suspicions were proven correct. Despite ever-worsening relations between the beast tribes and the thalassocracy, neither Titan nor Leviathan have made an appearance of late, suggesting that the kobolds and the Sahagin lack the means with which to summon them. You mean to say the executioners are divesting them of their crystals? All indications point to that conclusion, yes, though we have no hard evidence as yet. We must investigate further. Agreed. How do we proceed? Oh, I have an idea about that. In fact, I've already taken the liberty of making certain provisions. Bum, 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 bum. Come on. Actually, this might be a good time for me to go ahead and end it. Yeah, this is a good time. I plan to pick it up again tomorrow, per usual. So thanks everyone for watching.